What's goody? Yo, how you doing, my people? How you doing? It's been a minute since I've gotten to catch up with y'all. I'm good. I'm still here, man, trying to seek knowledge, wisdom, and guidance every day. I hope you guys too, and I hope you guys are too, man. Hope y'all been all right. Today's talk, or rather research read, is about familiar face that we all probably tired of seeing now on my channel, Bill Gates. And yeah, man, I just read an article about him planning to block out the sunlight from Earth. And these guys are closer than you think. These guys are closer than you think. And of course, one of the main reasons why they want to do this, well, they claim that blocking out the sunlight will reverse the known effects of global warming. It will reverse the heightening or the increasing temperatures of the Earth. However, of course, that is just a mask or a face of their true intentions. The sunlight is, for those of you that don't know, the sunlight is a portal. It's a portal to heaven. It is a gateway. And King Solomon says so in the book of Proverbs. I can't remember the exact chapter right now, but I know it says something along the lines of, well, first the chapter starts off referring to the sun, and then it follows with a line along the lines of, which is a gateway to thy chambers, which is a gateway to the chambers of the Most High. So going off of that alone, they want to block out the Most High's influence upon nature, upon the way we live, upon society, because the sunlight provides more than just light and heat. That's just from a physical perspective. That's just from our eyes. The sunlight does much more on a spiritual level, in a spiritual aspect. You take away the sun, man. One, you're gonna have a lot more demons roaming around freely and possessing people. You're gonna have a lot more depression. You're gonna have a lot more sadness, anxiety. You're gonna have a lot more people who are just so spiritually overwhelmed by confusion, by chaos, by darkness. You know, and that's just the spiritual aspect. Another thing is, food, right? Plants, flowers, vegetables, fruit trees, they all need sunlight to survive, right? So you block that out, you're already affecting our food supply, which is probably a part of their agenda anyways. Well, it all comes down to depopulation, and we're seeing so many angles of it. We're seeing angles of this blocking out sunlight. We're seeing angles of rumors of war. We're seeing angles of food supplies being destroyed. We're seeing angles of food supply chains being hindered, and there's a lot more. If you go back and watch some of the videos on my channel, you'll see that as well. So one of the ways that they plan on doing this is like by creating these artificial clouds, right? These artificial clouds, and the method that they're creating this is referred to as cloud seeding. And I believe that in theory, what they're trying to do is that these clouds are going to be brighter than the average cloud, right? So that reflects the sunlight, and the heat rays that from the firmament down to earth. And one of the ways they're going to do that, ways that they're doing that already, is through chemtrails. By now this shouldn't be a secret or conspiracy to any of you. I see chemtrails all over, all over New York, man. When I'm driving around, you see chemtrails, and then either a few hours later it's overcast with fake clouds, or the next day it's rainy or snowy with these fake clouds. And of course, what goes up must come down. So this snow, the rainwater, they all infiltrate water supplies. They all infiltrate gardens. So who knows what's in that. But yeah, man, let's get on to it. So Bill Gates is partnering with another well-off, wealthy man named George Soros, which I'll be getting into later. And they've both long argued in favor of a bizarre plan to fight global warming by using experimental geoengineering to partially block the sun's rays from reaching Earth. All right, so scientists plan to begin pumping chemicals into the sky over the next few weeks and months from several countries around the globe, including the US, Australia, and Israel. The idea, promoted by Bill Gates and leftist billionaire George Soros. Look at these guys, man. These damn billionaires, bro. These damn billionaires, man. These devil worshipping billionaires. The idea, prompted by Gates and leftist billionaire George Soros, involves pumping man made white clouds containing chalk dust and other chemicals into the atmosphere to reflect sunlight away from the Earth's surface. Blocking the sun's light would allegedly lower the planet's temperature enough to reverse global warming. Allegedly. Never mind that fruit trees and vegetables require sunlight in order to grow and produce food for the masses. Not to mention, sunlight is the primary source of critical vitamin D, an essential nutrient for human immunity. Gates, a known eugenicist who goes around giving talks about how we need to reduce the global population, likely sees these dark possibilities as exciting side effects of the nefarious sun blocking plan. I'm sure he's banking on it, I'm sure. Soros is similarly excited about the plan. He says the technology will help to prevent ice from melting in Greenland, which he claims could doom human civilization. I'm sure, man. Hey guys, look, listen, man. The Most High did not design Earth to be easily destabilized or to be easily destroyed by man-made activity, you know? The Earth is perfectly capable of healing itself. Yes, we are overextending our reach and consuming the planet's resources, being crowded, being overpopulated in some places. The amount of carbon monoxide coming out from factories, the air in China is horrible, man, because of that. However, the earth is perfectly capable of healing itself. We just need to dial it down. We just need to cut back, you know, you know. But nah, man, never think that the earth is to the point of no return. Most High did not design this place to be easily destroyed like that. You know, the Most High, He is beyond man, He is beyond spirit, He is beyond the concept of intelligence. There isn't a single thing, idea, concept that the Most High did not consider when creating something like the earth. You know, you cannot outsmart the Most High, you cannot destroy what He has built, you cannot be one step ahead of Him. Like comparing man to the Most High is like comparing a crippled ant to a lion. It's not even worth comparing. All right, so how ironic that the very globalists who are doing everything in their power to destroy human civilization claim to be worried that global warming might speed up the process. Globalists like Bill Gates and George Soros are doing harm to the environment through their genocidal climate agenda on multiple levels. They advocate blanketing our fertile farmland with toxic solar panels, while filling more acres of farmland with wind turbines that kill birds and other wildlife. They also push electric cars which run on toxic lithium batteries that are going to create an environmental nightmare in the years ahead because, like with solar panels, there's no way to safely dispose of them. How funny that electric cars are not the answer, that they're actually toxic for the environment as well. That's hilarious, man. All right, Chloe Aiello of Inc. magazine reported on February 13, 2024, that a Bill Gates backed startup just raised 145 million to source lithium ion batteries for electric vehicles. Much of the lithium mined in the world today is done on the backs of child labor in poor countries of Africa and Asia. But don't tell that to Bill Gates, George Soros, Larry Fink, and their buddies at the World Economic Forum. Despite their destructive plans, these globalists insist that they are our saviors, and we should look to them for answers on how to live a sustainable lifestyle. Please. About the devious sun blocking formula, Soros said our civilization is in danger of collapsing because of the inexorable advance of climate change. The melting of the Greenland ice sheet would decrease the level of the oceans by 7 meters. That poses a threat to the survival of our civilization. Of course, this is all nonsense meant to stoke fear. A fearful population will beg for solutions to the imaginary problem, inviting their own enslavement. More than 20 years ago, Al Gore made the exact same dire predictions about ice melting, polar bears dying, hurricanes increasing, and whole cities being submerged in water. None of these apocalyptic predictions have materialized. According to a report by Slay News, the tactics advocated by Bill Gates involve spraying aerosol concentrations into the atmosphere to reflect solar radiation away from the Earth. Gates has been funding a major project at Harvard University using balloons to deploy aerosols. The Harvard project was shut down following public backlash. But now, the Wall Street Journal is reporting that another group of scientists has been advocating Gates's idiotic and frankly dangerous plan. I wouldn't be surprised if those said scientists are being funded by Gates or one of his companies. Marine cloud brightening is a research project led by Southern Cross University as part of the 64.55 million or 100 million Australian dollars reef restoration and adaptation program. The program involves modifying clouds to make them reflect sunlight away from the Earth to supposedly stop global warming. And that's just a little diagram of how it supposedly works. This week, researchers aboard a ship off the northeastern coast of Australia near the White Sunday Islands started spraying a briny mixture through high pressure nozzles into the air in an attempt to brighten low altitude clouds that form over the ocean. Scientists hope bigger, brighter clouds will reflect sunlight away from the Earth, shade the ocean's surface, and cool the waters around the Great Barrier Reef. In Israel, another startup called Stardust Solutions has begun testing a system to disperse a cloud of tiny reflective particles about 60,000 feet in altitude. These geoengineered clouds reflect sunlight away from the Earth to cool the atmosphere in a concept known as solar radiation management. And that's how it's worked. That's how it works. So a balloon lifts about 1,300 pounds of equipment up 12 miles into the stratosphere, and more than 4 pounds of chalk is released into the atmosphere. A plume of dust a few miles wide from the chalk particles. The equipment will study the ways the chalk interacts with the atmosphere as it falls back to the Earth. All right, and in Massachusetts, researchers at the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution are preparing to pour 6,000 gallons of a liquid solution of sodium hydroxide, a component of lye, into the ocean 10 miles south of Martha's Vineyard this summer. Some would argue that cloud seeding has been going on for years. Take a look at this shot I took of the sky above my house a few weeks ago. Yeah, man, it pretty much looks like this. It's the same in New York, man. As soon as it's a cloudy day, they just ruin it and then start spraying this garbage all over the sky. All right, that's pretty much it for this article. Just introducing us to what Bill Gates has been trying to do along with George Soros. And I just wanted to bring some stuff up to consider when reading this article. So I believe that one of the ways that the world will greatly be depopulated is by a great freeze. This big freeze where it's gonna start snowing one day and it won't stop for weeks or months. You know, and of course, many people won't be able to survive such a thing, especially if they cut off electricity. Food sources won't survive something like that. And I don't know, man. Probably man may somehow try to survive in such a condition. And this isn't. We've seen content or we've seen predictive programming where the scenario is has been materialized. First off, in the movie The Matrix, they caused, in order to fight the machines, man did block out the sunlight in order to in order to deprive the machines from their solar energy, which it was their source. That could be predictive programming. There's a series or a movie rather with what's his name? Captain America. What's his name? Chris something. I don't know. I forgot his name, but Captain America from Marvel. He starred in this movie called Snowpiercer, where it's set in this world, in this neo society after I don't know how many years into the future, but supposedly the world went through a great freeze and nothing survives, and the only way man survives is through this train that goes around the world, and that could be predictive programming, them telling us what's coming. And yeah, man, and also in the book of, I believe Matthew is it, where Matthew states that there will be a winter affliction, a winter affliction like none other. And in that time, may you be strong, may you be healthy, may the Most High regard you. And the women with child or pregnant women are going to have it the hardest, I guess. I don't know, probably running up and down or fleeing from enemies or whatever. And I believe in the book of Revelation that Yahweh Shai the Mashiach also referred to there being a winter affliction that would be like none other. I need to look that up. I need to look that up. But yeah, man, these are just things for you guys to consider. The story about a great depopulation through freezing cold temperatures isn't unheard of. This isn't the first that we're hearing something like this. And of course, if you guys have any more information or context around this, man, let me know. Like shoot some knowledge in the comments, man. Let's exchange knowledge, man. I'm always up to learn more about the information that I bring to you guys. I'm bringing this article to show you guys the actual successes that cloud seeding experiments have achieved over the past few years. Not even over the past few years. Cloud seeding has been practiced since the 1940s by a scientist. It was first practiced by a scientist named Friedrich Schaefer, if I'm correct, and that was during and after World War II. And ever since then, the technology scientists have been gaining a better understanding of that technology. Today, you have projects such as the Snowy Project, that projects which have successfully recreated or simulated snowstorms which have lasted 3 days. 3 days, man. It snowed for 3 days straight, and that was successful. And with that information, man, I absolutely know that if they wanted it to snow for how many days or months, they could, and I really believe that they would. All right, so the article reads: Today, cloud seeding operations take place in at least 8 states across the western U.S., with varying levels of investment, often shared among state agencies, utilities, and private companies such as mountain resorts. Cloud seeding programs in the upper Colorado River Basin, for instance, cost around $1.5 million a year. The costs are split even among state agencies in Colorado, Utah, Wyoming, where the majority of the operations take place, as well as Nevada, California, New Mexico, and Arizona, which also stand to benefit from increased flow on the Colorado River. In the last few years, cloud seeding has featured more prominently in drought management strategies across the West. The cost sharing agreement in the Colorado River Basin was finalized in 2018 after states had spent years individually managing their cloud seeding operation. The agreement extends through the fall of 2026. So, since 2018, Wyoming and Colorado have strengthened their programs by investing in aerial cloud seeding operations. And that's seeding conducted by aircraft. In addition to the ground based machines they already have scattered throughout the mountains, including HARP. These are relatively inexpensive investments, all things considered, a low risk for a potentially high reward. but is it actually making a difference? Most programs point to statistical studies to justify their efforts. These studies indicate that seeded clouds can produce around 5 to 15% more snowfall compared with areas where no cloud seeding took place. If that's right, it puts the cost of cloud seeding at around a few dollars per acre foot of water, equivalent to about half an Olympic sized swimming pool. That's far less expensive than the cost of many other water saving interventions, such as water conservation, recycling, or desalination, which can cost hundreds of dollars per acre foot. Still, statistical studies don't prove that cloud seeding is actually causing heavier snowfall. That requires a more specialized scientific experiment, and only within the last few years have scientists finally been able to make that happen. As recently as 2015, an extensive report prepared the Bureau of Reclamation concluded that continued research is still warranted, but it noted the proof the scientific community has been seeking for many decades is still not in hand. Now, read this right here, about the advances that they've made over the past decades. All right, on January 19th, 2017, a researcher plane roared through the gray skies above Idaho's Payette River Basin, spewing silver iodide into the air. Assembled on the snow-capped peaks below, snow gauges and portable radar machines were poised to measure the snow that scientists hoped would follow. It was the beginning of an experiment that would turn cloud seeding science on its head, known as the Snowy Project, short for Seeded and Natural Orographic Wintertime Clouds. The study provided some of the first quantitative evidence that cloud seeding actually works. For 3 days that January, weather conditions would align to set up the perfect cloud seeding experiment. The sky was cold and cloudy, but no snow was falling. Over the course of these 3 days, the research plane would make more than a dozen trips over the mountaintops, releasing the same amount of silver iodide each time. For 3 days, there was cloud cover, but no snowfall, no natural precipitation. According to Katja Friedrich, huh, maybe it's no, probably not. Never mind. According to Katja, we put the seeding material into the supercooled liquid cloud, and we were able to generate precipitation. And that was very revolutionary. Thanks to the high-tech radar equipment, the scientists were able to monitor the response of the clouds from the moment the silver iodide was released into the air until the moment snow began to fall. Over the course of those 3 days, the scientists estimated that around 286 Olympic swimming pools worth of snow fell from the clouds they seeded. Friedrich and her colleagues, including scientists from Colorado, Wyoming, Illinois, and Idaho, published their findings in a groundbreaking paper last year in Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. Snowy came in the midst of a kind of renaissance for cloud seeding research in the United States. After years of relatively little scientific interest in weather modification, a series of projects over the last decade have paved the way for new insights. The Wyoming Weather Modification Pilot Project, launched in 2008, it was among the first of these funded by the state of Wyoming. The project aimed to evaluate the success of cloud seeding efforts spanning the three target areas in mountain ranges across the state. The results that came out on that, they were positive, but they weren't sort of 100% fully conclusive. But the project did highlight some major advancements. In cloud seeding, research over the last few decades, including improvements in radar and other observation tools, as well as major leaps in computer modeling. With these new and improved technologies, the Snowy Project catapulted cloud seeding research to the cutting edge of weather and climate science. All right, and then the rest of the article speculates what the future for the Snowy Project or cloud seeding projects can look like within the next few years. Speculative and conversational questions. But I just wanted to show you guys actual proof that, hey, man, this is a thing that's been practiced already. There's hard evidence. There's projects, organizations that are doing this. The Snowy Project, we saw that they simulated a snowstorm for 3 days straight, man, for 3 days straight, and that was when, what, 2018? That was 2018. Imagine how much more understanding that they have about this alchemy that they practice. So yeah, man, just keep in mind one of the ways that society could depopulate is through a massive snowstorm. Yeah, man, with that being said, I'd like to remind you guys to pray every day. Man, do not skip a day of prayer. Always be grateful. Always thank the Most High for what He's given you in that day because this life is temporary, man. This is a life of flesh. This is a life of physicality. This is a temporary life. You know, whatever you have, it may be gone tomorrow. Whatever you adore and love in this life that brings you joy and that brings you happiness, it could be taken away from you at any moment. And that's why you need to put your trust, your faith, and love in the Most High, man, because that is the only permanent guidance. That is the only permanent path in this life, in this world, in existence that will always reward you, man. That will always be spiritually fulfilling. You know, glory be to Him. Glory be to the things that He's allowed you today. And glory be to Him revealing to us truth, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, man. You guys keep praying and keep reading the scriptures and keep trying to be a better person tomorrow. You know, always try to be better tomorrow than who you are today. Thank you guys.